Hello humans, and welcome back to the Tao Way. Now at this channel in the past month or so we've been talking a lot about strength training, how to build your own program, how to progress your own program, and one of the best tools to develop your strength is the gymnastic ring. So in today's video I'm going to show you what to look out for when you're picking your gymnastic ring, what is a good material, what is a bad material, and my recommendation as to which gymnastic ring to pick. Now the gymnastic rings are an excellent tool to develop upper body strength. Not only are they versatile, you can hang them in the house, on a pull-up bar, on stairs, outside on a tree, on the basketball court. There are many different scenarios and places that you can use them in. You can travel with them very easily because they are small and they can compact down. They can go from being very high to being very low, so you can train pull, push, you can transition from pull to push very easy. They are an excellent tool to develop the upper body, but there are a lot of selections, different options with different material, different straps, different things, different prices. So I'm going to go through today how can you find the good and how can you stay away from the bad. Now this video is not sponsored in any way. I buy all of my gymnastics rings with my own money, not sponsored at all. I'm just going to give you some guidelines as to how to pick the right gymnastic ring, not necessarily what brand to go with, because there are many good brands and there are many bad brands. Now a good gymnastic ring depends on three qualities. The first one being, what material is the gymnastic ring made out of? The second is the thickness of the gymnastic ring, and the third is of the strap itself. So we are going to cover these three areas. I'm going to tell you what in each area you should look out for, and we'll go through which one to buy. So in the examples today, I actually have three gymnastic rings that I have used personally. We're going to go from the earliest that I bought to today, what I use today, and why I switched from one ring to the other. And we also have two different styles of straps, the one that I used a long time ago and the one that I use today. Okay, so the first point that we're going to look over is the material. Now if you search online, you will find rings in plastic, in wood, different types of wood, in steel, in metal, in different types of material. Now the one that I'm going to show you first is of plastic, and this is the very first one that I bought for myself and that I used for a couple of years. Here is the first ring. So this one is plastic, and you'll find it in different colors because you can just paint the plastic. This one happens to be black, but I've seen blue, red, orange, a lot of different colors. Now the reason I do not like plastic is because it is very slippery. There's not too much grip on the plastic. So if you ever want to develop a false grip or do muscle ups or advanced ring skills on the rings, the plastic is not a very good choice. You can even see that there's tape on here that I put on myself because the grip wasn't so good. So putting the tape helped a bit, but I would definitely not recommend going with plastic. Even though the plastic usually is cheaper than the wood, it's not that much cheaper, and in the future, if you continue to use the rings, you're going to end up going with wood anyways. So skip the plastic and let's go on to the next material. Here is the second ring that I bought. So you can see it's a different material. This one is wood. You can see the grip is much easier on here. I didn't have to tape anything, but the bad part about this one is the thickness. So this one is fairly thick compared to the plastic one that we had. You can see the diameter of the ring is much thicker on this side, which makes it much harder to hold and to false grip, which is, if we want to use the ring for all of its purposes, we're going to need to use this false grip to muscle up, forward roll, backward roll, whatever it is. And the thickness of this ring is just too thick for me. This one is 1.25 inches. They typically use this in big facilities or CrossFit gyms because they get a lot of use from many different people. But if you're buying it for yourself, you can buy a thinner one and it'll still last a very long time. Now here is the one I use today, and I've been using this same exact one for about 3 or 4 years. This one is also wood, but the diameter is much thinner than the previous wood model that I have. This is 1.25 inches, this is 1.11, and this is known as FIG standard, Fédération Internationale de Gymnastique, the FIG standard. This is the standard size that they use in gymnastics, and I like this because not only is the wood a very good grip, but when you go into false grip, it's not so thick that it's difficult to hold that false grip. And my hands are not the biggest hands, but they are bigger than, I would say, an average person, and this is still Yeah, this is still a good ring. She has really long fingers, but I have really thick fingers.
Hey, that's nasty.
Anyways, yes, so if you're gonna go with a material, I would go with the wood. And then if you're gonna go with the thickness, I would go with 1.11 inches. A lot of companies will show the thickness. If they don't, then they probably don't have a quality standard, and I would skip that company or send them an email and ask them what their diameter is. But like I said, if you search for 1.11 FIG standard, you will find a lot of rings like this. Okay, now we know the material to use, which is wood, and we know the thickness to use, which is 1.11 inches, the FIG standard. Now we're going to talk about the strap, which is also a very important part. So I'll show you the first strap that I started with, and now the strap that I use today and why I use it. Now here is the first strap that I bought. This strap actually came with my plastic rings, so they came together. I didn't have to buy it separately. You can see that the strap is pretty standard. It's just black. There's nothing on it specifically except for the logo of the company, and you have this buckle here, which is standard as well. Now the thing that I don't like about these is they are very thin compared to the one that I have now. I'll show you that one a little bit later. And the buckle, you can see that the buckle is actually broken itself because of the amount of times that you press down. And maybe I used this a year or two and then it broke right after that. So it wasn't that long of a use. The other thing I don't like is when you try to weave this in, it takes a very long time to put this in because not only this is broken, but you have to kind of guide it in the weirdest way, and it takes like, sometimes it takes me a minute just to put it in. That's what she said. And okay, there we go. Now I got it. So I don't like it for that reason. It does hold up well, so if you're not worried about it taking a long time, then this is fine. But I'm going to give you the other option, which I like much better, which is the one I use today. Now here is the buckle I use today. Now you can see this one's already much thicker, both in the buckle and the strap itself. And on the strap it has numbers 18, 17, 16. It has feet on there, so when you actually put it through and you're hanging it, you can hang both sides equally without having to guess what the right size is. Not only that, but the thickness of the strap and this buckle is very, very easy to use. This has never broken on me before, and I've had this for 3 or 4 years now. You can even see all the wear and tear on it. And then I'll show you how quickly. So if I grab the other end, I just put it through, and in a matter of seconds, that's through. So it's really easy to put on, really easy to take off. This one came with the last wooden ring that you saw, the 1.11 inch that I recommend. So if you are buying the right ring, just look at the strap that they have. They usually have a picture, and make sure it looks something like this. And if you can get the numbers on there, that's even better. If you can't get the numbers, you can just literally take a ruler and draw them on, and that works. I've done that with another strap of mine as well. Now that we had the strap type, now we have all three components to find a good ring and a good strap. So we want a wooden ring, we want the thickness to be 1.11 inches, the FIG standard, and then we want a thick buckle and a thick strap, and if you can get those numbering on it, that's even better. Now this is normally going to cost you, the lowest that I've seen this type of ring for is about $30, and the highest I've seen is $60. I'm sure that there's a higher end and a lower end, but you're going to probably pay anywhere from $30 to $50 for a pair of rings, but again, they're going to last a very long time. I'm still not through with my ring that I use today, and I've been using it for 3 or 4 years, and I don't expect to need to change it anytime soon. I use it very often too, a lot of times in the past. So I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions about gymnastic rings or anything like that, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to help. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe for more videos, and that's the session.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, how much is there?
That's a lot.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Put it on your butt.